What is the #1 way to make your vehicle look amazing that has nothing to do with detailing? Well, it involves a word that you're probably going to hate me for saying, dialing in its stance. Yeah, the S word, but please just hear me out for a second. Perfecting your vehicle's ride height and wheel fitment can be a little overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to share some tips that I've learned from transforming this into this and this into this. Before the kids made the word stance a verb, it meant something else in the car community. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the word stance means the position of both body and feet from which an athlete starts or operates. Or in this case, body and wheels. So a vehicle's stance really just refers to how the wheels fit in relation to the body. Suddenly, it seems a lot less annoying, right? But here's the thing, there is no other tasteful modification that can improve your vehicle's appearance like the perfect stance. Tip number 1, avoid extremes. Since most of us don't want to go down that road or that road, it's important to avoid extreme changes in either direction. This helps your vehicle to remain classy and functional while still getting the attention from all of the ladies. Or more likely, the middle-aged dude at the gas station that's just dying to tell you about his 1984 Fiero that he happened to own back in high school. Keeping your wheels within your fenders and your suspension plus or minus about 3 inches or so is a pretty safe bet. And that actually leads us to tip number 2. Make changes that suit your vehicle. It's pretty obvious when adjusting ride height that a sports car like this should be lowered and then a 4x4 truck or SUV should be lifted. With a few exceptions, of course. But this actually goes deeper than that. Take into account the original purpose of the vehicle and honor it. Straying from this can cause you to make a decision that you might end up regretting. The trend might go out of style or you might just get sick of it over time. Let's take a Porsche for example, or Porsche if you happen to own one. Slamming it so low that the tires rub and you have to slow down to a crawl just to go over every crack in the road is not a good match for a car that was designed to be nimble, fast, and engaging for the driver. And yes, I photoshopped that image just so you could get angry at it. You're welcome. Instead, a set of lightweight wheels with really sticky tires that fill the wheel well out but still allow full suspension travel is probably the ideal setup. Or what about a car that started out kind of regular, but since then has been highly modified to become more of a performance vehicle? I'm looking at you, Honda boys. This is my buddy's car. It underwent some major changes like an engine swap and a turbo setup. It's making a lot more power now, so it makes sense that he went with more of a beefy, sticky tire setup. And the fact that he chose a period correct set of TRD wheels and a rare TRD big brake kit is sort of the mwah. Tip number 3. It's perfectly okay to stick with OEM wheels. If you can't seem to find the right aftermarket wheels, or maybe you just don't like them at all, there's a lot of great looking OEM wheels out there. Some cars and trucks even come from the factory with great looking wheels already, so there's no need to even change them in the first place. Sometimes all you need is a slight height adjustment, or maybe some wheel spacers, or maybe a different tire size to make them fit just right. What if your vehicle didn't come with nice looking wheels, but other versions of it did? These are the stock wheels that came on my 2nd generation Tacoma. Not terrible looking wheels, but certainly nothing special either. You can see that the fitment isn't great. They're fairly sunken into the fenders, and the tire size is kind of small for a truck. So if I was dead set on keeping these original wheels on the truck, first off I would get them refinished because the clear coat is shot, just like most other Toyota truck wheels from the early 2000s. I would wrap them with a more aggressive off-road tire, and I would probably put some wheel spacers on them just to space them out flush in the fenders. The next option is to still keep it in the family but swap to an OEM wheel from a different model. This is actually pretty common in the Toyota truck community. Or you can get wheels from a completely different brand that happens to fit your platform. There's actually an entire Facebook group dedicated to just this concept alone if you find that interesting. These are the OEM 18-inch limited wheels from my 4th generation 4Runner. Not only are they a better looking design, but they're larger, wider, and they have a better offset that makes them fit the fenders better. I actually really love this OEM Plus look on this truck as well, but there's 2 problems. Number 1, well, the clear coat is flaking off these wheels too. And number 2, the lower profile tire just doesn't quite suit a 4x4 truck as much, in my opinion. But this sort of street truck look is kind of treating me right when I look at it, so I don't know. This is my aftermarket wheel and tire setup that fits well, has more aggressive all-terrain tires on it, which, by the way, I'm still loving these Motomaster Eliminator X Trails, and there's no rubbing whatsoever. My only complaint is that I'm not a big fan of black wheels on a silver vehicle, but there's always the option to either paint them or get them powder coated. Let me know in the comments below which of these 3 setups you think looks the best. Tip number 4, don't guess. When deciding on the best wheel specs and ride height, you really only have 2 choices. A, do your research, or B, make your measurements. You've got to do one or the other, or you're pretty much just rolling the dice and hoping for a good outcome. And I don't know if you've noticed, but wheels and tires aren't exactly cheap. And they're also not super easy to return if you've had them shipped to you. The good news is that we have this thing called the internet. Chances are somebody has already paved the road for you in terms of dialing in the stance of your specific car or truck model. So hit the forums or the Facebook groups or the galleries from some of the big online wheel retailers. Back in 2005, I spent hours upon hours researching wheel sizes on the MR2OC forums. Ah, the good old days. These Volk wheels weren't just expensive. The front ones had to be special ordered and took over 6 months to arrive. So if I had simply guessed and got the sizes wrong, that would have been a nightmare. Here are some of the specs that you're going to want to take note of when you're doing your research. Wheel diameter, wheel width, wheel offset, tire size, ride height, and alignment specs. Your other option is to get down and dirty and actually take your own measurements. As you can imagine, this gets pretty involved, so I'm not going to get into it here. You can find some good tutorials here on YouTube if you want to learn more about that. Tip number 5, sizing is more important than price. I once got a compliment from my brother-in-law about how great the Tacoma looked after installing the new wheels and tires. Is that because they were super expensive forged wheels that cost more than the truck itself? Nope. These are just cheap wheels from Canadian Tire. What caught his attention was how well these wheels fit within the wheel wells. This setup fits fairly flush, and in this case, it's even at stock ride height. So don't worry if you can't afford top-of-the-line wheels. Most people are going to notice how great they fit long before they ever read the name on the center cap. The truth is, expensive wheels can look awful if you get them in the wrong size. And in contrast, really good-fitting, cheap wheels can make your vehicle look amazing. Bonus tip, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Literally. Sometimes I think people get a little overwhelmed with choosing the right wheels because they feel like they need to do something new or groundbreaking. But that's not true. Just because a wheel setup is played out online doesn't mean that it's common to see it in real life. Think of how often you see the exact same car as yours in your own city. And now what are the chances that they're going to be running the exact same set of aftermarket wheels that you have? Probably not that high, unless you've got a Civic on RPF 1s. Remember that popular wheel setups have become popular for a reason. They suit your car really well. So whether it's BBS wheels on a Euro car, or Method wheels on a truck, or Volk TE37s on, well, pretty much anything, it'll still stand out in real life. Finding the right set of wheels that fit perfectly in your fenders is just one way to make your car look awesome. So watch this video next for some more tips.